Weekends with Simon Marnie.
On ABC Radio Sydney.
Gee, I'd hate to be in Parramatta at the moment because it's one of those places that has an incredible arc of historical sites, from the jail to all sorts of places. And I happen to know of a great building called Willow Grove. Now, it's in private hands, but it's been state heritage listed, and it's an 1870s Victorian Italianate villa, and it just looks beautiful from the outside. If you go to the Office of Environment and Heritage website, it's listed as being a significant site for history, for aesthetics, and also archaeologically potential. But along with so many beautiful places around the Parramatta area, it could be knocked down, this time to allow the construction of the proposed new Powerhouse Museum, as well as the 2 skyscraper towers we now know will go alongside it. Well, the North Parramatta Residents Action Group must have, a cricked neck from looking around at all the buildings under threat, so I thought we'd catch up with Suzette Mead. How are you?
Good morning, Simon. It's a 24/7 vigil out in Parramatta.
It is incredible because it's an opportunity to preserve all the buildings in this area, not just aesthetically, but as a historical reminder of Sydney's past.
It's just begs belief what's going through the state government's mind when they don't think these beautiful buildings aren't a draw card for tourism. If we just think we're knocking down heritage buildings to install a museum of heritage.
Take me through
Don't
Willow
laugh.
Grove. I know, I shouldn't laugh, but it's just because if you stand and you see Willow Grove, it's an impressive building. Describe it for those listening who might not know it.
Yeah, look, it sits in the middle of Phillip Street, which is a pretty ordinary street in Parramatta, not anything very architecturally significant. And this has got a really large frontage to it and beautiful wrought iron gates. And I think it really grabs people because it just really stands out in Parramatta. It's a little oasis, and it backs onto the Parramatta River, which you mentioned is the preferred location for the very contentious relocation of the Powerhouse Museum. Now, it's actually owned by Parramatta City Council at the moment and is part of the deal that they're doing to sell the land to the state government there. But it has had a very interesting life. Started out as a private homestead, but it actually became a private maternity hospital. So we have had thousands of people contact us this week on our petition, which is up to 6,500 in 3 days,
Wow.
saying that they were born there. So they've got this real connection to this place.
And it looks beautiful. It's as you say, it's got the grounds at the front of it.
Big jacaranda. It's not in bloom at the moment, but there is actually a gorgeous jacaranda there as well.
And aren't there some adjacent terraces as well?
Yeah, so just down at 44 Phillip, so it's almost half the block there that we're talking about is the development site of the St George's terraces, which are very much like those little shopfront terraces that you would see in Paddington or Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
They're made in 1888, and there's 7 of those, and they're also slated to be gone.
So just explain slated to be gone. What is exactly the threat for Willow Grove and those terraces?
Basically, Gladys Berejiklian's business case for the Powerhouse Museum. All options in the business case that was finally released under pressure in Parliament will see those buildings demolished because they're now putting in these 2 50-storey towers and a museum on the ground floor, I believe, postscript. And they need this footprint now, so all of this is going. Now, Parramatta City Council had a river strategy prior to this Powerhouse announcement to open up this forecourt and keep Willow Grove and have this big entertainment area that would draw people down from the CBD to the river and activate it for events. So there are other options to save this wonderful site and activate it to be used in a really positive way for Parramatta. Our opinion is it's the wrong museum in the wrong location for Parramatta.
Because I think you've discussed in the past, we know that there is the female factory area, there are all these heritage areas. This could become a historical precinct and draw tourism as well.
Well, yeah, the site is the old Cumberland Hospital, which is just under a kilometre away from where we're talking about at the river, which the state government own, and it's 26 hectares. We're not just talking about that small little David Jones car park.
Yeah.
We're talking about 26 hectares. And the council actually has identified in their cultural strategy.
You're just breaking up a little bit, but what I want to also find out is if this is council land and there's a council meeting on Monday, what are you expecting to come out of that?
I'm not quite sure who is the owner still, Simon. I'm not sure if this has actually changed hands to the state government.
It sounds as though the information, I mean, it's accidental you found out about it because it came after the arts minister released the plans for the powerhouse under those situations. The council can't tell you this.
No.
It sounds as though it's very hard to find out what the story is.
Well, there has been a veil of secrecy and this cabinet in confidence repetition to every question we have. We suspected that this would happen, but of course now it's been brought to light that we have this business case, which is heavily redacted, so we still don't know the full story. But we really can feel the sense of anger in the community. With 3 days, 6,000 people have issued letters to the Premier and the Lord Mayor of Parramatta saying, this is wrong. Don't demolish these buildings. Stop. Let's put a wonderful museum that represents Parramatta's diverse Indigenous and colonial history down at the state government-owned female factory precinct.
And it's listed on the government's own environment website as culturally, historically and archaeologically significant.
That means nothing these days, Simon. Look, I think all they have to do is announce something as a state significant development, and unfortunately heritage just comes second.
Well, hopefully people over the weekend, if they're in the area, will have a look at Willow Grove and the St George's Terraces, make up their own minds.
Yeah.
And if people want to find out more, how do they do that?
Just go on to Facebook, North Parramatta Residents Action Group. Pinned right at the top of our Facebook page is the petition. We've been putting up some beautiful photographs for people to have a look at. And we urge everybody to get behind this because this is Australia's history, not just Western Sydney.
Suzette Mead, thanks for joining us. Liz
Pleasure.
Scully, the Labor candidate for the area, has phoned in. I know that Breakfast will probably follow this up on Monday, so Liz, that may be the forum for you to have your say, but I know we'd love to hear from the government as well. And if you are in the area, have a look, because even online it is a most beautiful looking building.